Hi, welcome. Do you know what really makes us suffer, be in pain, or being hurt? Is the fact that someone didn't like us or didn't love us the way we wanted? That's possibility. But actually, what I'm going to share with you may surprise you. Because actually, what really makes us suffer is not the trigger. Let's say you're going through a heartbreak because your ex decided to, end the relationship with you, and you are somehow blaming him or her for your pain. And of course, usually the first reaction is to try to get this person back. That someday this person is going to miss us and is going to, realize that actually he made a mistake. That may happen, but usually maybe not. So what happened here is when what really makes us our life very hard and difficult is not the fact per se, is what we think about it. Our thoughts are actually, let's say, the main factor that triggers our emotions, especially the very painful ones. It's not totally and absolutely the circumstance, it's what we think about it. If you pay attention, you find a way to observe your thoughts and realize, you can even write them down so you can remember. What are your thoughts telling you? For example, let's say you're thinking about the situation and you start thinking, oh my God, no one stays with me. People just walk away from me. Something is very wrong with me. So you are kind of blaming yourself and you are creating emotions, very painful ones. And when we are feeling sad, rejected, or abandoned, then you generate more thoughts. So that creates a loop. I think we talk about this in another video. And that loop goes like I feel rejected and abandoned, then I think about and I find reasons and I find the way to blame someone or blame myself, and somehow I create more stress and more anxiety. And that is what happens at emotional level. So when we are feeling that way, we create more thoughts. So we go in this loop that never ends and never ends because we don't realize that is happening, that we are doing this to ourselves. We don't have a filter to decide and ask, is this thought good for me? What I am thinking is making me feel good or is making me feel terrible? There's your answer. It sounds easy, but it's not that easy. It's a little bit more complex. But the first thing that you can do is to pay attention to those voices that they run over and over in your head pretty much all day long. And you're going to realize that every day you have the same thoughts. It happens. It happens to everyone. There's nothing wrong with you. And once you analyze those thoughts and you see what are those thoughts, you can challenge them. And you can ask, is this really true? Do I really believe that I am not lovable? Do I really think that something is wrong with me? And then you can decide, because you are the creator of your own life. Believe it or not, this is true. We create the life we have by thinking and creating all this narrative. We create this story where in that story we always end up abandoned and rejected, and we convince ourselves that that is true. But you have the power to change that. And I know what I'm talking about because I have done it. For many years, pretty much most of my life, I really believe that it was very difficult for someone to really stay with me because I always have this thought in my mind that eventually one day this person was going to leave me. I could be in a beautiful place, being very happy with someone, but in the back of my mind, I have this fear in the form of the thought that one day that person was going to leave me. And guess what? That happened. So until one day I started thinking, wait a minute, am I creating this circumstance? Am I creating the conditions? Because when we are acting like our partner is going to abandon us eventually, somehow we create the situation for the person to leave. We start disconnecting, especially when we have been going through a trauma in childhood. We learn how to dissociate because at the moment we didn't know what to do with those emotions. We didn't understand what was going on. And if we didn't have any adult, any person close to us helping us to process those feelings, then we learn on our own the best way we can. And imagine if you were 6 years old. What resources do you have at 6 years old, right? And then at that point, you realize, you say, okay, if I don't get close to anyone, if I protect myself and I build this huge wall with in many different ways, then I'm going to protect my heart. And the consequence of that is even when we believe that we are connected to someone we love, there's always that wall like coming up eventually. And that prevents us to be open and vulnerable because we may think that that is going to make us weak and that we are not protecting ourselves. So all this is coming up in next videos. So if you're interested in transforming your life through this experience, stay tuned. Leave a comment, let me know what you think about it, and subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Namaste.